All right, first round of the NFL draft is in there, and initial reaction. What are the Suns? What are they doing? What are they doing right now? It makes no sense in today's era to add two centers. They have one of the more baffling moves that I have seen in a while. I think the Pelicans might have had the only team that might have had a worse draft than them. It is so frustrating watching what this front office is now starting to do. And we've only had minimal moves to see them kind of in action right now with all of the new front office, with the new GM. But my goodness, first the Kevin Durant trade, which I thought was terrible, looked rushed. They shouldn't have made a trade before the draft. That was the best one that they had out there. And now this. So, for their first pick with the 10th overall pick, I actually thought a decent grab, a decent steal. Malawach falls all the way down to 10. He was about the 7th ranked prospect. Really, really raw, but incredible upside big coming out of Duke. A guy that blossomed throughout the year and just kept getting better and better and better. He's kind of new to basketball, but the dude's a 7-footer. He's a defensive hound. He can get rebounds. He's still kind of figuring out his footing underneath him and kind of the flow, but he's got all the other measurables, and it's a guy that it's like, once he gets going, he can be really good. The ceiling, I think a comp is like Dikembe Mutombo, a guy that just patrols the paint, can block everything, grab rebounds, and is a lob threat on a pick and roll because he's so big and athletic and he can just catch everything around the rim. That's a pretty good player. That's solid. That's for a team that needs a big, like, cool. Like, we can live with that. I'm good. I like that. But not 10 minutes later, they ruin it with a move. I can't understand this transaction, this trade. They go out and they make a move with the Charlotte Hornets, which I don't know what's going on here with Charlotte and them, but they seem to be trading with one another all the time. And they give up the 29th pick in this year's draft. And they give a first-round pick in 2029 to grab Mark Williams, who's got 2 years left on his contract. The same Mark Williams that the Lakers thought about and then got spooked over his health report when they examined him and said, like, I don't think we can really bank on this guy being healthy for the future. The same Mark Williams that everyone questions his motor and says that he's flat out lazy at times. A guy that's got some potential but has had some injury problems. A big with injury problems. Here's rating for. And a guy that I think there's some excitement around, like when he was coming out, but maybe it's just the fact that he's played in Charlotte, but he hasn't done anything to kind of get people super excited about this point in his career. But isn't the whole point right now for the Suns to try and rebuild towards the future? Don't they want to acquire draft picks and build towards the future, not trade them away? Wasn't that the point of giving up Kevin Durant? By the way, they just traded this year for Nick Richards, again from Charlotte, sending 3 second-round picks to him. So you just planning on letting him walk because it's the last year of his deal. It's modern day NBA, which is positionless basketball. You don't really play a conventional center. They have to be able to stretch the floor. They have to be able to do a lot of things. Williams can shoot a little bit. Richards can't really, but he can dive and catch some stuff, and he can be a little bit physical. I mean, Malawach, again, there's potential there, but if he's shooting from beyond a foot out, there's something wrong going on. It better be a free throw, because if it's not that, I don't know what we're doing. And in today's NBA, the big is the first piece that gets played off of the court. Those are the guys that are hard to keep out on a basketball court in a competitive basketball game in today's NBA. Look at what happened with the Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert is like a 5-time defensive player of the year. A guy that is going to be a Hall of Famer. But come the postseason, He's almost unplayable at times. He is unplayable at times. Look at the Thunder this year. All year they sported this two big lineup that had Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, and they had great big-to-big passing and could get rebounds and defend the paint. They get to the finals, and even with as bad as Miles Turner was playing, they couldn't keep two bigs out there because no one could guard Siakam. And I hate to be that guy, but the two bigs for OKC, Chet and Hartenstein, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more fluid, and better than any of the two bigs that you want to throw out there for the Suns now. It makes no sense. You're giving up draft capital. If they had just traded their first-round pick this year and you had gotten them or a couple seconds, sure. Maybe they trade some contract that's expiring. Okay, I'm there for you. But trading a future first-round pick when it just screams that they are once again just unwilling to accept the fact that they are in rebuild mode. Matt Ishbia just believes firmly he can keep spending money and he knows the answers and he can figure this out. He certainly can keep spending money, but it doesn't work like that in the NBA, that you can't just keep buying players. Eventually, contracts come back to bite you. You need to have your own draft capital, or else you end up with what the Suns have right now, which is no real draft capital to speak of for a trade. Pretty much no good contracts to trade now, other than if you're going to move off Booker, might be the last one. No hope right now for the present, no hope for the future. And we're acquiring centers. In 2025, we're acquiring not one, but two centers to try and play in modern-day NBA. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's unreal. I don't hate the Malawach draft right there. He's the first center off the board, a guy that was, again, projected at like 7 in this year's draft. Insane upside once he kind of gets going, but you're banking on a lot of this is a project and we're going to have to work with him and he's going to have to figure some things out. I mean, that's not great. Well, we try to compete right now. You think Mark Williams is going to come in, be the president until Malawach like figures it out and like he's going to be the future and we're going to compete for the next few years? Have you looked at this roster? They got 7 small guards. Now they got 3 centers, and that's it. Just unreal. You trade Kevin Durant to get draft picks. You trade Kevin Durant in order to try and put yourself in a position where you have some outs in the future. You got some picks. You got some young pieces coming in, and you can say we have at least, maybe we're not good right now, but 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, we can start building something. Now you gave away a pretty substantial piece of that future for the thought process of, here comes a big that's got 2 years left on his contract. A lot of people think he's kind of lazy. He's also had some injury problems. But hey, why not? Why not roll the dice on him? Why not bring him in? The moves that they make, oh my goodness. Ishbia just drives me crazy. Kid, I get the dude is signing the checks. He makes the decisions. But has there ever been an owner that needs to just back off and let brighter minds, brighter business basketball minds do their job? Hire a real GM, not your buddy. Hire a real head coach, not your buddy. Give them all that they need to succeed. Let them know that there is if this is how you feel, like there is an unlimited paycheck that you can just continue to write checks and they're going to buy and go out and get whatever deals, whatever it needs to succeed. And let them know if they don't succeed, you're making moves. Set the standard, but then get out of the way. All of these moves just have the eerie feeling of Ishbia's fingers just all over them. This franchise was in such a good spot 5 years ago. And now they got nothing to really be excited about this season and nothing in sight that makes you excited about the future. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why trade Kevin Durant if you're trying to win now? What are we doing? What about this roster also makes you feel like you're in a win now mode in the West? Anything? It's just baffling. It's just very, very baffling, the moves that they're making. I don't know where you go from here. I don't know what comes next. The dominoes continue to fall. Like I keep saying, like that there's moves that are going to continue to happen. I haven't been impressed with any of them yet. And I don't know if you are a Suns fan, how you can be. And most, maybe now you have, if you were scared, I guess, of drafting some guys and having, maybe you can flip some of these, flip Williams, I know they're talking about trying to trade Nick Richards now. Maybe you could do some stuff to try and shed some salary cap, but none of those guys are making that much money. Nick Richards is making $5 million this year. Mark Williams is making $6 million, and then he's going to be a restricted free agent. Like that's crumbs on the problem when you look at what Bradley Beal is making, what the things that this team is facing. It doesn't make any sense. I've sat there and I looked at it for a while. I don't know what they're doing. You don't trade for a big that has questions about his commitment and one that has had some injury problems and is getting towards the end of his contract, and give up future first-round picks for him. I don't get it. I don't get it, guys.